I know you've been in the crypto world from last 1 year, right? You've been buying and selling. You've been doing a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So this discussion is just to talk about share that experience. What you learned in last 1 year, right? So let's uh, let's have a chat. So firstly, before we get started, who you are and what do you do?
So basically, my name is Peihan, and the last name is you. It is not he, it's not me, and I'm not from Rush Hour 3. Right? So I've been in crypto trading for just basically about 10 months so far. I started doing trading on CoinSpot since June last year, and slowly getting into it, start learning a different type of cryptocurrency. So I just want to talk a little bit about my understanding of the cryptocurrency world. By definition, cryptocurrency is a form of currency that's used for trading, used for creating and storing value without a central institution or bank. So, um, in my view, there's three different cryptocurrencies. One is called the transactional coins, so Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Monero, Dash.
Yeah.
Those ones are created for purchasing purchasing goods and services, and to storing wealth, and also to protect one's asset. So those ones, like in my point of view, they must be created with added security, with privacy protection, and those ones for any coin in this category to be successful, and they must gain mass adoption and recognition in the community. The second,
So
yeah,
sorry, no, no. Before you go into that, it's what's the reason you reckon when you got started for the first time, right? So why did you get started in this? There's a lot of other things going on. There's
right.
a lot of stuff in the share market. Um, why did you actually start in this? What did you? Who actually introduced you to this world?
Basically, I have been a technology geek since the year of 2001 when I first got on my hands on IT. And first time I heard about Bitcoin, it was actually really, really early in the day, so 2009. I read about Bitcoin in the early 2012s. I didn't really get into it, but I did understand a little bit about it. It's a decentralized blockchain-based system, and it's a digital form of money, and people can use within a small community. And then when Bitcoin's slowly gaining popularity, it's quite an incident. I'm working for a company. I'm head of IT. One day, one of our server got hacked. We had this ransomware on our computer and on our servers, and we had this hackers asking for 0.25 bitcoins to unlock our computer. I said, then what's going on? Then this ransomware start gaining popularity on media. Then I started getting into it. I said, what's going on with Bitcoin? Why is this such a thoughtful asset? Then I start reading about Bitcoin, what it is. Then I start understanding. As I start understanding the technology behind Bitcoin and what's problem Bitcoin is solving in this community, in this real world society, which people cannot trust each other, and I see this as an opportunity. Then I start buying Bitcoins.
When did you buy it for the first time? Which exchange did you use to go into it?
I start buying Bitcoin from June 2017.
Yeah.
So
But which exchange did you
on
use?
CoinSpot.
The CoinSpot for the first time.
On CoinSpot, it did take about a week or two
Yeah.
to get my account verified.
Yeah.
And the first Bitcoin I bought at the price at $3,600. Yeah. Then I slowly getting into it, start learning about blockchain.
Yeah.
And the second one I've invested in was Factum.
All
After
right.
I start learning and what problem it solves
Yeah.
in the financial world. Yeah. Then I start saying, wow, it's not only Bitcoin. There's so much out there as cryptocurrencies. And then I start learning, and I put my faith into the products that I think will boom in the next couple of years.
So when you bought from the CoinSpot,
Yeah.
have you used any other exchanges to buy as well since then?
I did. I tried a few. I tried CoinJar.
CoinJar?
I tried Coinbase.
Yeah.
I tried Hit BTC
Yeah.
and Binance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and quite a few of them.
So why did you try, just from understanding perspective, there's a lot of ones available in Australia, right? One is the BDC market available here. Why did you go overseas exchanging? How come that trust was there for you?
So basically, for me, it's trying to understand how those exchanges work, and what different advantages they have. For example, Binance.
Yeah.
Their fee is relatively low compared to the Australian exchanges,
Yeah.
and Binance is 0.1% fee, which compared to CoinSpot, 2% for Bitcoin and 3% for altcoins. So that's the reason I approached them.
So when you buy it, like say for example, you bought it,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming yesterday you bought it as well. Did you? Yeah. Okay. So what happens is when you buy it, it goes into your wallet in exchange. Do you actually quickly transfer that into somewhere else in some other wallet, or you just keep it there?
I diversify it.
Okay.
So I keep some of the coin on the exchange because I do flipping.
Trading?
So,
Okay.
for example, September last year,
Yeah.
I remember I held about 300 N shares at that time for N share, now new.
Yep.
And then at the dip, just before the dip, I sold half of it. And then after the dip, I used the same money I sold for and bought more N share. I do some of these. Not every time I succeed.
Yeah,
Sometimes I lose money, but sometimes I like to play the game on the exchange.
Yeah.
And some of the coin I put them on other wallets. So one of the wallets I use is my Ether wallet. Because I use that to participate in ICO projects.
Yes.
And for Bitcoins, I have a wallet EXO does.
Yeah.
And I have offline wallet as well. Yeah. I have a Nano Ledger S.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the moment, my portfolio is pretty diverse. I have money on Bitcoin, on cryptocurrency exchange, such as CoinSpot holds about 60% of my assets.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I have something on Cryptopia, a New Zealand exchange. I bought some altcoins in there. Then I have something on HitBTC.
Yeah.
I put some of my investment out. It withdraw with some of my investment, put it in mining.
Yeah.
So it generates me a little bit of passive income every week.
I really want to talk about mining, but we'll talk about it at the end, right?
Sure.
Mining is one of the other topics which really want to give the information. But I think the main thing is, right, the first is that getting the trust on the exchanges. You sort of talked about. Can we also talk about more when you go and ICOs? Like you probably invest in a lot of ICOs at the moment, right? Where do you find that ICO information? What do you do to actually find that ICO? Where do you go and find that and look for it? Say, for example, we have new ICOs coming through now, and we don't actually know which one, or people watching, they probably don't actually know which one to look for.
Yep.
Where do you look for?
So basically, there are tons of ICO projects coming out every day.
Yeah.
And there's, in fact, thousands of them. So based on my research, let's say 90% of them, they won't even happen. The people throw money into the water and nothing will happen. They won't even hear a thing.
Yeah.
So the way I do it is I join some communities. So I'm in multiple WeChat groups. I'm on multiple Facebook groups where people talk about specific ICOs that's providing a solution for a real world problem and sounds promising. Then what I do, I go into ICO Bench. So this is a website that gives critical analysis on the ICO projects.
Yeah.
So I look at the analysis. I look at the most important thing. I look at whether the project it is just going to be sustainable by only using blockchain technology. If the problem can be resolved without using blockchain technology, then I won't invest in something like that. The other thing I'll look at is whether this is going to be an Ethereum ERC20 based project, or are they creating a public chain? And I prefer to invest in the public chain because they will create their own ecosystem. That's what the community lacks. So another thing that I value the most is the team. So for example, one of the ICO projects I invested in is in Shore Power. I'm pretty sure you heard of that.
Yeah.
And I look at the team. I look at whether these people possess the necessary knowledge in the industry and the experience to create such immense projects. And for example, I look at the team of 20. I look at how many of those 20 people would have insurance industry experience and what level they held in their previous organization. Can they think of the project as something that transforms the way people deal with insurance companies? And then if I can put my trust into the team like that, so basically like choosing a venture capital, can you put your money at risk with these people. If you can trust these people, you have faith in these people, then by all means
So
invest.
it's a similar thing what we talked about earlier, right? We sort of had the discussion that way. We said that you got to look for the people who's behind that. Is this, it's trying to solve some real world problem, or they just made it up, right? So these are the very fundamental things you need to look for it, because if you don't look for those sort of stuff, what's going to happen is you're going to get dragged into the hype of the ICO, because as an educated person you need to go out and start working and make those analytical decisions based on the information you receive. Like exactly what Peihan said, you got to look for the technology behind it, you got to look for people behind it, who's actually supporting the project, how many people are behind it, what's their experience look like. So if you don't find those people or their profiles on LinkedIn, or if you have profile on LinkedIn and they only have 50 friends, there's a big alarm going on, because they've just started to do that work. They probably haven't done it. But let's talk about more in the portfolio, right? So how much time do you actually spend researching on the ICOs?
Before one single ICO, before I put my
Yeah,
investment.
before you money into it.
There's just three phases approach.
Yeah.
What I do. First of all, I look at the ICO. I go on their website.
Yeah.
I look for information. So a lot of ICO website, they put a little 3 minutes video on there.
Yeah.
And what I find is 90% of those videos, they don't really explain what they want to do. They paint a very vague picture.
Yes.
Then the second stage, I go on ICO bench. So the people provide full analytics on their white paper. I read their white paper as well. Then, like, the number one thing I look at, is this a problem that has to be solved by blockchain? Can this be solved by any other means? If that ticks the box, I start looking at the team. Yeah. So the total time I'm spending on the project before I start investing, that could range from 5 hours to even 10, 20 hours.
So it
Total
ranges
research
from if it's, look at the time somebody spends on researching on this, right? So for one ICO, it can take up to 5 hours to 20 hours just to go through the documentation, right? I know it's it's way too much time, but if you want to make money in this world, if you want to find next Bitcoin, if you spending tens of thousands of dollars, there are two ways you can do it, right? One is you can actually do that yourself, or you can get other people to do that on your behalf. I'm not going to talk about this today, but we're going to talk about this later, that how you can actually do that with other people's help. But this is very, very important, because if you don't spend those 5, 10 or 15, 20 hours researching on that, you're going to just gamble it. And we don't want you to gamble money, because we want you to actually do proper research and make decision on that, right? So let's talk about more into mining side of things.
Yep.
And I know that you bought mining. Let's talk about, firstly, what is mining for people who haven't sort of, very quickly, what is mining for you?
I'll put it in a nutshell. So we all know fiat currencies are created by the central banks. So the bank decide how much money they print, how much money they're supposed to be in circulation in the society. Cryptocurrency, because they're decentralized. So first of all, I want to quickly explain how is cryptocurrency created.
Yeah.
So cryptocurrency is created by mining. So it's a form of a reward for miners solving mathematical problems. So I'll give a very quick example. May not be 100% accurate, but that's in a nutshell. Say John buys a chicken from Rob using a bag of rice, right? And in the community, first the information is broadcast onto the chain. Then the first people that get onto the information and start registering this onto the ledger. Then any record on Bitcoin chain that needs to be verified is by six others before that becomes a permanent record on the chain. Then everyone's ledger on Bitcoin that will be updated. So everyone holds an independent ledger.
Yeah.
So by updating the ledger, the reward from the blockchain system is in Bitcoin. So that's a token in the cryptocurrency ecosystem.
So you get paid to provide your services.
Yes.
You get paid to verify it, you get paid to validate the transaction, and you get paid to add that transaction into the blockchain.
Yes. So that's pretty much mining in the nutshell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to invest in mining?
Because mining is, compared to trading, mining for me is more stable. It's less risky, and you kind of create a passive income in there. And mining, is that still profitable? Yes, it is. But compared to the fluctuation of the Bitcoin and crypto market, mining is still one of the way you can make money, and you can sustain that growth, it, which I believe in the market will pick up soon. And the higher the market grows, the more profitable the mining will be. Yeah.
So when you sort of look to mine,
Yeah.
where do you go to find it first?
First, I do my research. So I want to quickly give the audience a little bit of explanation
Yeah.
what mining's all about. So when Bitcoin first started in 2009, so the reward is quite substantial. And mining can be done using a personalized computer, even a laptop.
Yeah.
Then as more miners join the community and as more transactions happen on the blockchain, the simple mathematical problem becomes more difficult and complex. Then then you will need higher end computers. Then people discover mining using a graphics card is more efficient. Then as time goes by, the specialized machines using multiple graphics cards start doing this. And then now they have the ASIC miners.
Yes.
So ASIC, that's application specific integrated
Mining.
circuits. So these are mining machines that designed, built for only one specific purpose, which is mining. So in short, it basically means as technology evolves, it becomes harder for us to mine,
True.
especially using older hardwares. Yeah. So there are lots of different ways of mining. So you can buy your own hardwares. So the best place to buy the biggest mining machines manufacturer company is called Bitmain. It's a company in China, and they produce Antminer.
Yeah.
The most latest version for Bitcoin is Antminer S3.
Yeah.
Sorry, S9. That give you the hash rate of 13.5 to 14 terahash per second.
That's way too much.
That's a lot of mining power.
That's a lot of mining power. So think of that, right? So how many did you say? 13?
13.5 to 14 terahash per second.
13.5 to 14 terahash per second. Holy crap, that's a lot of power. Like, if I put it in normal computer terms, this laptop will take about 100 years to solve that problem with those hash are doing it. So this is, even though this is pretty good laptop, that's not going to be able to solve that problem within 100 years. So that's big computers. They're supercomputers.
So put in perspective, those machines,
Yeah.
they're gonna easily cost you, in the black market, that could cost you up to 20,000.
Yeah.
Depends on the scarcity of those hardware. And sometimes you have to put an order in for anywhere about between $4,000 to $6,000, and you sometimes have to wait for a year for those to arrive because of high demand. And mining with hardware, it is require a lot of technical knowledge.
Yeah.
You have to understand what are you buying, what the hardware capability,
Yeah.
and how to configure. How do you make sure that doesn't cut off? That
So I think
always
the
working.
biggest takeaway is don't get into mining if you don't understand the hardware. If you don't understand the way the configuration works, if you don't understand how much money you will be able to make, because you need to understand the power consumption on top of that as well. Not only that, because the computer is going to be running 24/7 to validate it for you to make money. So don't get into it if you don't have that technical background. If you're happy to understand that, yes, go for it. Make money in that, but don't get into it if you are just normal person. Have no idea about the computers, never understood that. Um, you know, Pellin been in the computer industry for a while. He understands the back end stuff. He understands the data center kind of concept. If you don't understand it, don't get into it. It's a big no-no. But try to understand it if you want to pay money into it. But like you're saying that if you want to buy in a black market, right? If you want to pay, it's about 20,000 US dollars.
Up to 20,000
US dollars.
Yeah,
Right?
Australian.
Australian dollars, yeah. How long does it take to, like, I know that we don't want to do it here,
Yeah.
Like we don't want to do it in Australia because the moment you do it in Australia, the energy cost is way too high. The power consumption is way too high, and you want to do it some other part of the world, and then the trust issue comes in. How do you trust?
So, like you said, mining in Australia for me is a big no-no.
Yeah.
First of all, if you have to find a location, and
Yeah.
if you want to store your mining rigs, normally because I have 20 S9 capability, so in total I have 170.
Yeah.
Sorry, 270 terahash per second mining power. That's mining Bitcoin for me. So if we do that in Australia, we have to find somewhere to store those, and then cooling. Then cooling is another component. Then the massive power consumption of those mining machine and cooling solutions will add a lot of headache to you. And because of because the Bitcoin price fluctuate, so what happened last night for any miner would be a disaster. They would be losing money,
Yes.
especially if they're mining Australia, which even off-peak power could cost you 20 cents. Yeah.
True.
So there's other solution of doing it. This managed service mining solution. So basically, you hire mining rigs. You hire the hash power rather than buying it.
So it's like buying your servers or your hosting platform on any of those cloud providers. Think of about AWS, think about Azure, think about all those cloud providers. Exactly the same thing. You can actually buy or rent it from other places or other people who have that power, and they're happy to rent it for you, right?
Yes.
This is what you have done in some of the cases.
That's what I've done. I tried hardware mining,
Yeah.
just with one.
Yeah.
The amount of noise and heat it generates drive me nuts already.
Oh yeah.
I just tested. And another problem you have is power fluctuation. Sometimes that freezes your machine. Sometimes machines still cost you electricity, but the mining stopped.
It's not
But
doing
still
anything.
sucking electricity, still costing you money, and you log in onto the interface. You have a look at it. The mining stopped like 60 hours ago. That's pure loss for you. But with managed service, you don't have such issues. So all your machines are managed by a third party, a professional third party. So you rent a hash power, you never own these machines. Yeah. So you pay a little bit of money on monthly or yearly basis. You sign a contract, you get the machines working for you right from the start when you sign the contract. You don't have to wait for months to wait for your hardware to arrive. Then you spend days to configure, connect onto it. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, and then the electricity is significantly cheaper. Think for China. In China, that's why most of the mining company work in China, because some of areas in China, the electricity costs as less as 3-4 cents. Compared to 20 cents here.
Yeah.
So that's significantly less. So what mining company will do is you rent a hash power, then they deduct the power consumption and their managed service fee from the Bitcoin that you mine. So everything you get that paid
Is
to
a
your
net.
wallet is a net. So everything you see in there, that's just your pure profit for you to take. So for me, sometimes I take my profit, I put it into my Bitcoin wallet. There's few ways I can spend my Bitcoin. I can invest them into ICOs that I really like, or I can put them on exchange, buy some altcoins that I think that are promising, or I can just put them into my Bitcoin wallet and wait for the value to grow. So that's how I diversify. That's how I work with my current portfolio.
So do you since you bought that, have you made um, profit on those mining rigs at all?
In short, I only started mining quite recently. So 15th of December, that's when I signed the contract.
So it's about a month, 2 months.
About 2 months ago. Now I'm 70% of my expense already recovered.
All right. So
Yeah.
70. So it took about 2 months to recover the 70% out of that. But I think if you guys are looking for long-term stuff, then mining is good. And for some people, if you are technical, you understand the way the things work. It's like you're going to be providing that hardware behind all that, what happens for the blockchain. So you're not only trading it, but you're providing the power behind it. So if you are one of those people who like that, and who want to do that for long term, this is a pretty good way of doing it to make money as well, but also stay in the industry too. Um, that might not be profitable sometime. Yesterday was the perfect example when the value of Bitcoin and other currencies gone down for like 30%, right?
50, almost about 40%.
About 40% went down yesterday. So all the miners, all the people who actually got involved at the back end, they didn't make any money. I can tell you now, because they were the only people who made money who were the people who actually started it, not the people who got in last couple of years. So that might happen, but again, it's all risk stuff, right? You need to validate it before you get into the mining world. Let's talk about wallets, right? So, do you get, sorry, with this mining, do you get paid with the cryptocurrency as well, or you get paid with the fiat currency as well? How do you get paid?
I get paid in Bitcoins.
Or you get paid in Bitcoin?
I
So
get paid in Bitcoin.
whatever you mine, you usually get paid in the same currency, because that's how you make money, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is very important. You're not going to get paid in the fiat currency. So if you don't believe in that coin, and you say that you don't want to buy that coin, but you want to mine that coin, you're going to have the trust in that, because that's how you're going to get paid. So that's very important, right? If you don't trust Bitcoin, and if you keep getting paid in Bitcoin, then you're going to be really mindful for that as well.
Yes.
So when you get that Bitcoin, when you get that token, or when you get that, you mentioned that you store at different type of wallets. What's your preferred wallet at the moment?
I prefer soft wallet because it's easier. They're easier to operate,
Yeah.
and for me to move money around.
So when,
Um,
sorry, can you just very quickly explain? People might not even know what a soft wallet is. The soft wallet is somewhere online, right? And the hardware wallet is, or the offline wallet is somewhere which is you put in a USB and take it away from that. So when you say soft wallet, I'm assuming you keep it online on your phone. You use some sort of app. Yeah.
Yep.
What is this?
So, like with my Ethereums and
Yeah.
all my Ethereum-based ICO tokens, I use my Ether wallet
It's a wallet.
and
Yeah.
use something called IM token.
Yeah.
Another thing I use. With my Bitcoins, I keep on Exodus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are three main wallets I use.
So you have access on the phone and you can transfer.
Yes, I have on my phone. I have one on my computer, which is locked with private key
Yeah.
and locked with the password. Every transaction. that I
So
do on my-
every wallet you lock with the password and also with the key as well.
yes.
So this is what something you can do it as well, right? So if you have any of those wallets, we'll talk more about it, how you can do it. But this is one of the methods you can make sure that it's not only the password, but you also have the keys to lock your wallets. This is very, very important for your security. It's like a physical wallet. If you don't lock it, somebody can take it away. Right? Has anything happened to you? Somebody stole it, some sort of incident, or where you made mistakes? Like, let's talk about. We talked about all these, good things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about mistakes. When you started, what sort of mistakes you made, and if you had the knowledge you have today, you wouldn't do it again.
Well, put it in short, if I knew the stuff I know today, when I first started, let's say now I would be at least 10 times richer, right?
Yeah,
So I made three substantial mistakes. First, I lost some coins.
yeah,
I bought Neo.
yeah.
I had, I remember I had like 365 Neos. Lucky number, and it was 365 days, one day, one a day, represent a good year.
Yeah.
I put those 365 Neos into a wallet.
Yeah.
It's a software wallet. It's called Neo. You probably know
Yeah.
about that one. And then I lost the private key. Because I changed computer. And I did something really dumb. I did a screenshot of the private key
Yeah.
and stored onto the same computer. Then one day, the data somehow got wiped.
Yeah.
Then I couldn't recover. And we're in crypto world. If
can't
you lose
recover.
your key, it's gone.
Everything gone.
It's done
Yeah.
forever. So the 365 Neos. Neo at peak they sell for $260. So
And how much did you buy it for?
I bought it for $6 each.
So this is a lesson, right? It's if you lose your private keys, if you lose access to the wallet, And if it's your wallet, it's not managed by exchange, you pretty much lose everything. This is the important thing. Don't lose the key. Don't store the key in the same computer. Don't store in the same hard drive. Don't store at the same place. Make sure the key is somewhere else. As Don't save it online. Don't put it in your email. Don't put it in your Google Drive. Don't put it in your Apple Drive. Don't put it on online. Save it offline somewhere where your key and wallet are not at the same place.
Well, that's very important.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that. Second mistake I've made is in trading.
Yeah.
So, I used to be a guy, new to the crypto market. I used to sell in fear.
Yeah.
I used to panic sell.
All right.
Then
Yeah,
when the hype goes on, I chase the hype. Then that's how I lost money. In the bullish market, no matter what you do, you're going to make money anyway.
True.
But in the market, the normal market, which anything could happen. I'll give you a perfect example. Was Bitcoin Gold.
Yeah.
Bitcoin Gold, when they first came out, they were $200 and no traction. Slowly dip. You remember one day they dipped to $74 all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a bullish run, which Bitcoin Gold ran through in 3 days, ran to $1,300 in one instance. Then I bought $1,100. I changed my Bitcoin into Bitcoin Gold. I thought it was going to go the same path
Bitcoin.
as Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah.
When Bitcoin Cash moved, I
Yeah.
said this is going to do the same thing. Then I exchanged 2 Bitcoin into Bitcoin Gold. Then that quickly dipped to $300. Then what I did, I sold. Yeah,
Panic.
I sold. I panicked. I sold. Then the very next day, they went up to $600 again.
Gee.
I panicked. So I made a few of those mistakes with Dash,
Yeah.
which I bought Dash at 500, then it dipped to 300. I sold. Then I went up to over $2,500.
Yeah.
Right? I made a lot of this mistake when I was new, and now I've learned those things. I learned to calm down. I invest in coins that I think is going to have a long-term potential. Then I just put my money in there.
Yeah.
I don't touch. I don't sell all of them. Sometimes I trade a small portion, maybe 20%, 30%. That's it. Then I slowly putting my mining profit into the exchange. I buy the ones that hasn't moved yet, that has potential but doesn't have a lot of media attention yet. So now I see my profit starting to grow more in the steady way.
But this is again the learning curve, right? So most people I know who haven't done trading in the past, who are not from a trading world, and they just got into the cryptocurrency as a trading, they all made the same mistakes. Just because when you don't have a goal within the trading world, how much you want, what do you want, and you don't have a strategy in place, what's going to happen is you're going to be one of those rookies who's going to just buy and sell based on the market, not based on what you want. And this is, you can learn a hard way or you can learn a soft way. Soft way is you learn from other people's mistakes. A lot of people make the same mistakes, but you want to be really mindful of that. Everything you buy or everything you sell, not applying to trading on cryptocurrency, but anything you do in the market, whether it's a property, whether it's a share market, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your job, anything you do, you need to have a strategy behind it. Don't leave things to the randomness. As they say that if you leave things to the randomness, you only thing you're gonna get in your life is a random things. You're gonna just get a random result. So make sure there is a strategy behind whatever you're doing, so that it has to be some steps. So you need to do your homework. Create your homework, create your own homework, whatever you do, but make sure there is a strategy behind it. But let's go and talk about, these are 2 mistakes. Any other mistakes you want to highlight?
Well, technically, I missed some great ICOs
Yeah.
as well.
Which one is the number one you missed?
Like in Shore Power, I tried to
Yeah,
invest.
I missed that.
That went in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
That finished in 2 hours. Medical chain.
Yep.
That went in under 2 minutes. It's finished.
Yep.
Yeah. And I missed some great ICOs, and because I didn't get in early enough. I didn't do my KYC early enough.
Yeah.
And sometimes in crypto world, sometimes you hesitate. You don't know what's going on. You look at something for too long, you hesitate, then the opportunities come.
Yeah.
In crypto world, it's moving extremely fast. Some people say that in crypto world, like one day equals to a year in the share
in the
market.
share market, yes.
In the share market, which is true. You know, for us to really starting to gain profit in this market, joining the community is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have you're not going to going to have the technology, like the technology, you know, technical assistance, technical backup from a professional team, and also the psychology game is a vital part. You know, because a lot of people when they lose money, there's two factors. One is greed. The other one is what? Is fear.
Fear.
You know,
Yeah.
that's two things human cannot overcome by themselves. And people all the same.
Yeah.
That's why it's only 1% in the share market making all the money. Other people, they're not dumb. They know what the right thing to do, but they just can't
True.
help it.
True.
But when you are in the group, in the community, you have the technical and you have the psychological backing of the bigger team, and you tend to make more logical decisions, and it leads to long-term gain. There's many mistakes I can talk about. There's tons. I mean, you know, but now I try to make less. I can never say,
You're never going to be
you know,
at that level.
I'll never say that I'm good,
Yeah.
but I'm getting better.
But also, this is the thing, right? If you're not making mistakes, you're not growing. So we pretty much make mistakes every day.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the lesson is how quickly you learn from that mistake and move forward and make sure you don't make the same mistake again and again, right? But look, that's very wonderful. We got viewers who watch our at a level they're very beginner or they just got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're thinking of getting started, or they get at the level they just started doing stuff. They're buying and trading and trying to learn about it. What would you actually say to these people who are just starting this journey? Anything like, if somebody want to give them advice, what advice would you give to these people?
Well, number one advice I would give is don't chase the hype.
Yeah.
Don't chase the news. It's actually study it and learn the technology behind it and read the books you need to read to really understand what blockchain is and what problems each of those cryptocurrencies is solving before you really jump into the game. Yeah? And the best way to do is learn, like what Jack said, is learn the mistake from others, not making mistakes for yourself and learn from your mistake. That's my number one recommendation.
Cool. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming, and it was a pleasure. Look, this is one of the things which I really like to do. Is share the experience, because there's a lot of people who have done something about this from last few years, and that's what I'm going to try to do, bring those people to you guys and share that information so that you don't make the mistakes what these guys have made in the past. But look, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you very soon.